Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. So I have a story for you guys today. This took place in 2010. Um, I had just moved into an apartment. It was nice. It was in a nice area. It was a 2-bedroom. It was a basement apartment, but it had like a side entrance, so I didn't have to share entrance with the landlord. And like they had redone it over, and it was like wall-to-wall carpet. It was really nice. So I was really excited about it. My son had his own room. It was a big room. And so I moved there and I was working at BBQ's on 42nd Street at the time. So this apartment was like a little crazy. But anyways, there was this girl who worked at my job. Her name was Markia. And she was like on drugs and shit like that. She was a little crazy. She was a little younger than me. I actually used to work with her at TGI Fridays, and she followed me to my new job. Like, she got fired, and I guess she heard I worked there, and she came over there. So she started working there, or whatever. So this dude came to the job one day. He was really tall. He was really good looking. He was 6'8", right? So he's mad tall. She's mad short. So she had told me she had bagged his number, whatever. So I was like, oh, he's cute. I didn't think nothing of it. So he came back like the next day and they was chilling or whatever. So he had asked me to watch his food while he went to the bathroom. So I said, okay. So when he came out, he tried to holler at me. And I'm like, aren't you talking to Marquis? And he's like, no, like, she's just my peoples. It's not like that at all. Like, we're just cool. We're friends. So he was like, she had wanted me to go get her some drugs. So I got her some drugs. So I believed his story or whatever. So I gave him my number. So me and him start talking. We allegedly hit it off. And he starts coming to my house and spending the night every night. Or whatever, right? So it's crazy. So my fake best friend LaShawn, she had came to my house one time. It was like a weird when she came. I don't know. I felt jealousy coming off of her, or it was just weird. She left or whatever, right? So me and this dude's talking. He's coming to my house every day, and like I didn't tell her because I didn't want her to feel no type of way. And I had believed her story about him not really dealing with her at all. Like she was on drugs, because I know she's on drugs, and it's like, a lot of regular dudes don't want to deal with a girl that's on drugs unless they're doing drugs too, right? So she would be at work, she'd be nodded off like, and I'm like, Marquia, wake up, right? So anyways, I'm looking at tables. So anyways, all right. So me and this dude's like, I'm thinking he's my boyfriend or whatever. He's coming over every night or whatever, shit like that. Tax season rolls around, right? He's on my body for money. He want me to give him this amount so he could do this and do that. So I gave him like $250, right? And I didn't have a bank account at the time. So I had like $1,100 in my apartment stashed somewhere, right? So one day I come home from work and it looked like somebody was like going through my closets, right? I guess to like see what I had there or whatever. And I noticed it. And I'm like, what's this nigga going through my boxes? I had left him while I left for work. He was still there. He was going to leave a little bit later. I should have never trusted that. I was so naive and dumb. Okay? Now, mind you, we in 2021 now. So this is 11 years ago. My son is 10. He's young. He's little. So I'm not really having him around my son like that because I work. So a lot of times my son would be at my mom's house. But, he would come home because he had his own room and shit like that. And I had got him his own flat screen TV. He had a Nintendo Wii. All this stuff. Christmas has just passed, and he was like really spoiled, and he was like 9. He's like, Mom, all I want is polo. So I had brought him some polo boots, a polo sweater to match. Like, he was poloed down. But anyways, so my son had this dream, and he was like, Mom, I had a dream that the apartment got robbed, and he was scared there. He was always scared there. I'm like, oh, don't worry. I'm like, the apartment's not going to get robbed. Like, I don't know why you're thinking that way. Or whatever. So there was this other dude that I had met, but I knew him before, but it didn't work out between us. Like, he was just like weird, and like I had really liked him, but like I was dumb then. That's like when you're like texting and doing all the work and like he's not really responding and shit like that. So the dude that I'm dealing with, I like him, but whatever. I don't know. I can't explain it. So one night the dude was like, he's not gonna come over. So I let the other dude come over, which was really weird. And it was only because I had liked him and I felt like he had dug me. Don't judge me, guys. I was young and dumb and under spell work and didn't know it. Okay, so he comes over, whatever, and we have a good time, shit like that. And he leaves. The next day I go to work. I come home at 12 o'clock, maybe 1 o'clock in the morning. I open my door and my apartment was robbed. And I was like, I couldn't even talk. I was just like, I couldn't talk, speak, or nothing. I was just like, it was crazy. So I think I called my mom immediately. And I called my mom. I'm like, Mom, my apartment got robbed. I'm like, they took everything. So I go look to see where I had the money at. That was gone. My TVs, I had a brand new Samsung flat screen, and this is 2010, so like they still cost money back then. I had my Sony flat screen TV. I loved it. I had my stereo system, my son's Wii. They took my Pele leather coats because I used to wear Pele coats. Anyways, they're not even out anymore. I hate to see dudes wearing Pele coats now. It bothers me. Anyways, but he took my two Pele coats. And I was just devastated. Like, it was crazy. So I called the cops. They came and took a report. Then I got out of there and went to my mother's house because I didn't want to sleep there. There was like a big footprint. So it was like they came through the back window and shit, right? Now, mad weird funny shit used to be happening at this apartment. Like, me and my son used to always feel unease all the time. And one day I was there by myself, and I smoke weed. So I smoked a blunt or whatever, and my phone's completely dead. And the alarm goes off on the phone. So I picked it up, and I'm like, my heart's beating so fast because I know that my phone is completely dead. So it's like, this alarm should not be going off at all. It should not be going off. So I'm like, oh shit. So I start gathering my shit, and I'm like, I'm out of here. So I go to my mom's house for that night. I'm like, yo, that shit is crazy. So one night I'm in my bedroom. My son didn't even want to sleep in his room because he was scared. He kept telling me that, he told me he saw a hand on the window. And he also said that he felt something pass his face like air. Like this, right? So I'm like, oh shit. So I'm just trying to tell him, like, no, it's okay. But I felt weird too there. But I'm trying to be strong for my son. So there was times we would lock ourselves in my room. And it would just be me and him. And he would sleep in my bed. So one night he's sleeping and I'm smoking a blunt. He gets up out his sleep. And he starts walking. He's like in a trance. He goes to like the wall. And he starts doing something. And I'm like, Dante. But he's dead ass sleeping. So I'm like, yo, this nigga is sleepwalking. This shit was scary as hell. At the time, I didn't know it. But, we was being attacked by entities and shit like that. Like, I would wake up. It was just horrible. I didn't sleep good there. I just didn't feel good there. Ever. So after my apartment got robbed, all that stuff I'm telling you about my son, that happened before the apartment got robbed. Once my apartment got robbed, I'm like, you know what? I'm leaving. So I decided to leave. Like, everything was cool. My rent was paid up. I spoke to the landlord, and we decided I'm leaving. I'm going back to my mother's house. Because it was too scary after the people entered my home. Like, it was just like, it felt like an invasion of privacy. I didn't feel safe. I didn't know if they was going to come back. And it's like, I know that I knew the person who robbed me. Now, I don't know if it was the dude I was with the night before or was it my fake boyfriend. But I believe it was my fake boyfriend or like they was all in cahoots, basically. Now I know that. Now that I'm being gang stalked, I know that, right? So, and I believe my best friend has something to do with it too. Also, that girl Markia, that night, she calls me. And she's like, oh, I really like your friend BJ. My friend BJ, it was the AG girl. You know what I mean? She was pretty, she had braids. She's like, yeah, I really like BJ. So out of nowhere, she calls me. And I'm like, hello? She's like, yeah, what's up? You okay? Now, mind you, she never ever calls me. It's really random that she called me like she blew herself up. And she's asking me about my friend BJ, like, oh, I just want to buy your friend a hat, da-da-da. And I couldn't even talk to her. I just hung up. So I go back to work and I'm like, my apartment's been robbed. I'm devastated, shit like that. And I'm like, I think it was that nigga, that I was dealing with. So I hit him up. Oh, this is another thing. I hit him up immediately. I'm like, yo, my apartment was robbed. He's like, yo, where you at? And I'm like, I'm leaving. I'm about to go to mom's house. He's like, no, don't go. I'm like, nah, I'm going to mom's house. I'm not staying here. So I tell him, I'm like, yeah, I look outside. I see, it look like there's cameras. So I'm like, yeah, there's cameras. So I'm just asking the landlord, da-da-da. So once he heard it was cameras, he wanted to come through, right? So in my mind, I'm like, is he coming over here to kill me because of the cameras? So I go back home the next day and he meets me over there. And I'm like, so he keep asking me about the cameras. So I speak to the landlord and she's like, oh, there wasn't no cameras. But I felt that if there was cameras, he was probably going to murder me or some shit. You know what I mean? To get rid of the evidence. So I'm like, it was just a crazy feeling. This nigga was mad before he was 6'8". Like, he would stand over bushes and, like, just be looking at me. But he was hella good looking. All right? So I'm like, it was just weird. It was weird. But I'm a tall girl. I'm 5'8". So it was weird being that short to someone. Or whatever. So, sorry guys, okay. Anyways. So, where am I at in the story? Okay. So yeah. That happens or whatever. So I'm devastated. I want to know who robbed my apartment. I want my things back. I worked really hard to get the things that I had. You know what I'm saying? I was busting my ass, like, because I had a 1-bedroom before I got there, and I was furnishing for a 2-bedroom. I had beautiful leather chocolate couches. I loved them. My TV, I had everything all set up the way I wanted. My computer, everything. Oh, they took my computer also. So I'm just like devastated, like fuck, everything I worked hard for is gone. Now my rent's $1,300 at this apartment. I'm busting it out, busting my ass at work to make this $1,300 because it's just me by myself. And I was doing the damn thing. I was having problems some months, but I was doing the damn thing or whatever. So I want to know what's going on. So I linked up. This girl I knew was going to some psychic. I went to the psychic. I told her, no, I didn't even tell her. She tells me. She was like, yeah, it was a team of them. One was Spanish. She said they came through the window. And I asked her who robbed me, and she said it was the taller one. So that means that it was the one that was 6'8". The other dude was tall too, but he was 6'3". So the other guy is 6'1", 6'8". So she's like, it's the taller one. I'm like, damn. I'm like, all right. I just wanted him to get caught so bad. It was crazy. I was so crazy back then. And one day I'm at work and he comes there. I'm not really fucking with him no more because I don't trust him. I'm like, nah, he robbed my apartment. I ain't fucking with this nigga. So Markia comes over and she's like, acting crazy. Like, oh, you're talking to him. Da, 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 acting like she didn't know. It was just crazy. So she said something. But anyways, I went up to her. I'm like, yo, what's up? Like, I was about to fuck her up because she was just talking shit to different people. And I don't like that shit. Like, you got something to say it to me, bitch. So I'm like, yo, what's up? You know what I mean? What's up, bitch? Like, what's up? So my friends pulled me back. They're like, yo, like, damn, I never saw you like that. You was ready. I'm like, yeah, like, nah, this bitch, she set me up to get my apartment robbed. Now she gonna act crazy in here, walking around talking to different people about me? Fuck out of here. What's up, bitch? Talk to me. Anyways. So after that, she started acting crazy, like, just weird. We squashed the beef. She was a crazy drug addict. So it was like, she's doing it all to herself. I don't have to do nothing because this bitch is doing the lean and all of that. And it was sad because she was young and it just was no reason for it. She used to always talk about her Section 8 and how she lived in Long Island, how just a whole bunch of crap that nobody gave a fuck about. So after that, this dude she knows, she was like, oh, he wants you to be his waitress. So I was a guy's waitress or whatever. And he ended up tipping me $100. She's like, see, I got you that $100. But I think she felt guilty for whatever they did getting my apartment robbed, right? Okay. Now, at this visit, this is when the psychic told me that a group of people was going to be after me in the future. She didn't say the future. She just said a group of people was going to be after you. Like, they set you up, and she was just really upset when she was telling me, and I got upset. And I'm like, what did I do? I started crying. I'm like, what did I do? What did I do? And then I remembered the fight I had with the girl who was my ex-mother who was pregnant. I'm like, did I kill a baby? Did I kill a baby? And I'm just distraught. And I'm like, oh my God. Because I'm thinking, like, why would people be after me? Then I'm like, I'm not crazy like I was when I was younger. So it's like, I'm not going to be around any drug dealers or anybody that sort or like steal any money or anything. Like, I'm not going to do that. So, and then she also told me that a family member was involved and I have no friends. She was like, you have no friends. So After this, she tells me this information. I'm really sad. I kind of like blacked it out or forgot about it. But immediately when she told me that I was being set up by a group of people, I stopped talking to my fake best friend LaShawn because I knew it was her. Like I knew it was her, and I believe she described her to me, and I knew it was her. Because you know you can always feel fake hate, whether you want to brush it off or act like it's not happening or whatever. You can always feel it. So I'm like, damn. This is crazy. I didn't know what to do. So I knew that the friends, like, because I had a whole bunch of friends from work, right? We would go out of town together. We would go to Jamaica, Mexico. We used to travel together and have fun, drink, da da da. Like, you know what I mean? And they was crazy. They was girls or whatever. And some of them was lesbians. So sometimes they would date each other. It would be fights. It would be like crazy. But I knew that they was fake too. And they did, you know, I knew that they would talk behind my back because I was going through a lot of stuff. I was stressed out, trying to pay my rent. I always had bad relationships. They always wanted to know, like, why you always having bad relationships and shit like that. And it's like at that time, at that age, I was actually looking for love. You know what I mean? So I would be like heartbroken when things didn't work out. But it was all set up. And I know that now, looking back. But it's just crazy. And it's like, oh, she also told me that something was in that apartment. This is the kicker. This is the kicker. She told me that something was in the apartment that was bothering my son. And she was like, it's like air and it comes from the window. Now, remember, I told you he had told me that. So when she told me that, I was just like, I was so scared. She told me to light a white candle, pray, clean the house, pray around all the windows. And I did that. But we still got the fuck out of there. Because that shit freaked me out. So then, after that, I go back to my son. I'm like, Dante, remember you was telling me that something was bothering you? And he was like, yeah, I saw a hand on the window. Like, not an actual hand, but a print. It was, like, wet. And then he was like, and then air, like, went past me real quick. So, like, that shit bugged me out. I was not staying at that apartment. Even to this day, I always try to look up to see if somebody died there or, like, what was going on there. I don't know if that when LaShawn came there, if she left something, because you know that's how you hex people if they leave something in your house and shit like that. I don't know what happened, but it was crazy and it was very, very scary. That apartment was the scariest apartment I ever lived in my life. Like, I was happy to come home. I was in my mom's bed like me and my son. And then you know what's really fucked up is that they stole his stuff too. Like they stole his weed, his polo stuff that he had got for Christmas. Like it was just crazy. Yeah. My life as a target individual. I swear. And if you think this story is crazy, I got a lot more to tell you. Okay? So stay tuned. Thanks for listening, guys. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. And if you know what website I can look up to see if anybody passed away at that address, let me know. That's my dog. She's like, ah. Bye, guys.